Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5:30 starts now.
It's a controversial plan to save a troubled Detroit school, and it's now spurred a state investigation. Sharon McPhail has a familiar name in the world of Detroit politics.
No doubt about that. Now, though, taking on a very challenging role, trying to turn around a school in one of the city's most violent and impoverished areas. And
the controversial way she's going about it is drawing plenty of attention.
Defender Kevin Dietz spent weeks now investigating the story and joins us for part one of a three-part look into what's been going on in that school and neighborhood. Kevin?
Yeah, this all started with an article in Bridge magazine that was questioning Sharon McPhail. Is she certified to teach the kids here at Detroit Community Schools or to be their superintendent? And it questioned the people she was hiring. Well, Sharon McPhail called the story a hit piece. She says things are getting better here, not worse, and she invited us in to take a look. We begin with educating kids in a poor neighborhood. In Brightmoor, gunshots are heard as often as school bells. On Monday mornings, kids can be a handful because they've not had a mouthful of food all weekend. Just to get to school, you have to pass abandoned houses where schoolgirls have been raped. Drugs are devoured and guns are hidden by young killers who think nothing of taking lives.
You got to keep the drugs away from them. You got to keep them in activity. That's what you have to do to keep these kids out of trouble, because these bullets that's flying.
The priority here is staying alive, not making sure homework is done. Historically, dropout rates are high, literacy rates low, and the cycle of poverty keeps rolling along. We went to Brightmoor on Detroit's west side. What we found is some great kids with exceptional talents who want to learn.
I'm going to graduate college, and I want to do something successful with my life.
How important is education to that?
Education is so important in my life because not a lot of people in my family was able to finish school.
Who want to go to college and graduate.
I want to be a technical engineer, or MD.
As I talk with the parents of Brightmoor, they understand they play a key role.
I don't think half the parents even care. I have watched children go to the store at nighttime by themselves to get a loaf of bread for their parents, and they sitting at home drinking and getting high.
They have to come from home too. The parents have to get on, help out with homework.
Most Brightmoor schools have long been shut down and boarded up. There's only one high school here, and Sharon McPhail runs it. The controversial lawyer and city council member who once said Kwame Kilpatrick rigged her chair in an effort to electrocute her.
We're not a failing school. There are 184 failing schools in Michigan. We're not one of them. It was a failing school when I got here.
McPhail runs Detroit Community Schools, a K-12 charter school with 800 students. She's been here almost 4 years and suddenly finds herself in a controversy. The Department of Education is investigating the status of certification for school staff. She went to a class, then decided it was a waste of time. She refuses to get certified, instead changing her title from superintendent to chief administrative officer.
No, it would be hurting the students if I went to that class, because that's 4 or 5 or 6 hours a week that I'm not doing stuff for them. So no, I don't need it.
McPhail makes $130,000 a year and pays a six-figure salary to Bill Coleman to be her chief financial officer. Coleman was convicted of a felony as superintendent of a Texas school. Her dean of students is Sylvia James, who was thrown off the bench as a judge in Inkster following a misappropriated funds investigation. McPhail has a brother on the staff and a relative of Kwame Kilpatrick's too. She's proud of all this, not apologetic.
And a lot of people won't give them a chance, so what do I get for that? I get somebody that used to run school systems. Hello, Miss Tamika.
She walks the halls passing out compliments. She knows most every kid by name, and they support her. Graduation rates are up, but standardized test scores are abysmal. Only 2 students ever have passed all 4 sections of the ACT college entrance exam. So McPhail says things are getting better, but there's a lot of work still to do. We're right across the street from the school. It's a dumping ground. There's 3 boats in the backyard here. This is an abandoned building or abandoned house, and this one's not even boarded up. Again, this is right across the street from the school. This is not easy to bring teachers and administrators down here who want to work in this neighborhood. But is that an excuse for Sharon McPhail to be hiring friends and family and even people with a criminal past? What's best for these kids? How do they get an education? How do they get to college? We're going to dig into that tomorrow at 5 on Local 4. Kevin Dietz, Defenders.
Kevin, it's a great start on all this, but let's go back to this issue about Sharon McPhail needing to be certified. If the Department of Education determines that she has to be, well, can she still go do that, or is that it and she's out?
Well, the rules say that there will be fines and that McPhail should have to leave the school if it's found that she needs to be certified. She, of course, says she's looked at this. She's a lawyer. She says she will sue them if that's their findings. So it's going to get real messy if there is a determination that she needs to be certified. But again, the Board of Education says they're just looking at it and they've not made any decisions yet. They expect to know in a week or two.
All right, Kevin's report obviously coming up again tomorrow and Wednesday. You're going to hear a lot more from Sharon McPhail, but if you'd like to watch the entire extended interview that Kevin did with her, you can go to clickondetroit.com. It's on the Defenders page, and you'll find that under the News tab.